Who doesn't like hearing Sam and Cait sharing some powerful statements about Outlander? They have some fun while sharing unique answers in interviews. So, this is a collection of those videos for you to enjoy in this Droughtlander. When asked about female directors' involvement to the show,
something that there should be more female directors purely because it should represent the population distribution, right. But no, there's some women are very sensitive and come from a much sort of more romantic viewpoint, but then some of our male directors have been more like that. Some of our female directors are much more technical and it just runs the gambit, and that's how it should be. It's not, oh, you're women, you're going to look at it exactly this way. No, there's very many different opinions and different aspects to it all.
It's about the right person for the job, and I think we've got the right people for the job, and it is fun to work with different directors. But the first few, actually, we have Brendan, who was it was kind of nice to start with him, and but then we had a real sort of mixed group of directors, and I feel like each one brings something different to the show. Right.
And it's amazing, I would say one of our greatest action directors was Anna Forrester, right. Who also was able to handle really sensitive material very beautifully. But one of our most sensitive, I think, romantic directors was Metin. So it, wonderful. I think I love that Meryl Davis really fought hard to try and get as many female directors as possible. But also, I love that it's not. It doesn't become a cliche that it's like, oh, the women are good at this thing and the men are good at this. No, it's great to see that there's such variety among everybody.
I think the show has this strength, and sensitivity, and I think that's really important. It's not a show for women. It's for everyone. It's got so much more to it.
Claire is a role model for every woman
right now, and your character, and it's funny that we have to point these things out.
But I know, sadly.
It does exist, but your characters sort of joined these ranks now. She is like seeing herself as a completely different woman than we saw her originally. And you think it's time that many women start recognizing their power and that they have the ability to become the women they want to be?
Absolutely. I mean, this was a dream role. Claire's... what I love about her is that she is so strong, but when she encounters misogyny or when she encounters somebody telling her she can't do something, she uses it as fuel. And she takes that and she says, you know what, I'm going to prove you wrong and I'm going to make myself be heard. And that's what I love about her. So.
They're both intelligent in answering some of the tough questions.
On the show, they exist on the page as well. That the great characters that Diana created, but you have a certain ownership of them after 3 seasons. How do you think your versions of them differ from what's on the page? Do you notice a difference between the characters in the book and who you're playing on screen?
Well, that's interesting because I think when you read a book, you always, I always think of it like we all play our own little movie in our head. So my reading of Claire is through the filter that I interpret her on the scripts as well. Right. So, I think maybe I've tried to make Claire a little bit more earthy or relatable. I think sometimes, when you read a book, there's certain things that translate so well on paper that when you try and put it into action, it can be a little more... I don't know what I'm talking about. I don't know. I get the page and I do what I try and do.
No, we were asked this question last night, and it's like, when you read the book, do you hear each other's voices or whatever? And it is a tough one because ultimately the book is different to the script, even though we try and stick as close as possible. Right. And when you read the script, it's slightly different. We have different writers on the show, and so ultimately, we try and bring that sort of...
It's funneled through many layers of interpretation, I guess. Yeah, and by the time it gets to us, I mean, there's a way that I will see things purely because my life experience informs the way I understand something. So, I think it'll always be a different interpretation.
These are some of the strong answers Cait made during some of her interviews.
It's just been such a wild ride to be on something that, obviously the book series had such a a huge fan base and a huge life, and that had sustained itself for over 20 years. So coming onto the show, you never know if that's going to work, if people are going to like what you do or not. Yeah. That's quite a risk, but it's been amazing. I mean, it's been so gratifying to be part of something that's so much bigger than us, and you see that people's lives are so invested in these characters, and there's generations of family who are into it, and that's crazy. I was a big fan of Lord of the Rings and stuff like that when I was growing up, and just to be part of something, I mean, obviously we're not on that level, but part of something that's in people's lives and that they bond over. It's very cool.
Since we are into the 6th season next year, these videos will make you more comfortable when you see Claire again.
Vulnerable. She can save and she can be saved, which is why I love her. Is it just a joy to play her?
Just getting to play someone who's as complex as her. I mean, she's not perfect. She can be stubborn. She can get herself in a lot of difficult situations, but she loves fiercely. She fights fiercely. She has boundless empathy. She fights for justice, and all of those things are just so attractive to be able to play. It's been such a great opportunity, I think, for both of us. I mean, I think we've been on this wild ride that is just, I don't know, it's given us so much.
Subscribe us and watch more videos on our channel.